right. Welcome back to another episode of the Ordnance Cast. We're going to start this one a little different. We're going to watch the marathon launch trailer because it just came out, and then we're going to give our thoughts and then get into regular scheduled programming. So, all right, here we go. Make crazy faces too, TJ, because your camera is on screen and we want to see the live. Like, if something just looks awful, just start vomiting profusely, right? No, not funny? Look at him, he hates me. All right, here we go.
Good morning, New Cascadia. This is Joy, your community outreach liaison. It's a lovely day outside. It's quiet. Very quiet. Rainfall is expected to begin in the early afternoon and last until a long time. For those who did not wake, your restless dreams endure. So small among the stars. Breathe softly. Do not worry. Peace is upon you. And I am here to walk with you into its embrace.
Mayday! 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 This is General T.W.K of the new Cascadia colony on T.O.C 4. Whoever's listening, whatever's out there, we need anything. Weapons, supplies, a way out, a way back. Mayday, mayday. This is T.W.K. T.O.C. I feel like I'm praying. We've had to do things to survive. Things I never would have.
Arachne.
We're monsters. We're all monsters.
Embrace. Embrace. Embrace.
Mayday! 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 Mayday!
Oh my goodness. Serbo slam. Wow. All right, what are our initial thoughts there?
Oh, they are ready to roll. This is it. Because have you, for context, I watched the original launch trailer, like the gameplay launch trailer.
Yeah.
That is painful compared to what I just watched.
Yeah.
There's like alpha assets with no textures in the gameplay reveal trailer.
Yeah. The game, yeah, I think we were.
That looks amazing. That marathon shot was crazy.
Yeah. I think that original release that they wanted to do in August last year was just like insane. I don't know how anybody thought that was ready to go. I think gameplay wise it probably was, but like visually, no way at
No.
all.
They wanted people to get excited about it sooner, and so they did what they could, but they should after seeing that, they should have just waited. Jeez.
The other huge thing that I'm noticing as well is like we have a lot more cinematic and story with all of the marathon stuff this go around.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any of that. We had the ARG and that was it. And like regular people don't interact with ARGs, you know what I mean? It's like less than 5% of people that know marathon exists interact with the ARG. And this is just like phenomenal. Firefly Reaver vibes, yeah. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that for sure. I have so much to say. We're gonna rewatch this, and we're literally gonna stop like every frame and talk about this because I have so much to say. Anyway, anything other big that you want to cover before we like tear this thing apart, and then we can get into everything afterwards.
No, I think that you said it with the lore piece. I think I'm convinced that one of the AI made it through. I haven't finished the original Marathon game, but I think that one of the original AI from the story are messing with all the different units, all the different factions.
Oh, interesting, interesting. That is one of the running theories. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
it's
there's a
just
lot.
like there's just too many consistencies with like potentially rampant AI because they're acting rampant, but they're not. So that leads me to think that there's someone messing with their systems, and
Yeah.
I think that that's a thing.
Okay.
But I don't know how that ties in with the cloak guy. I don't remember what their name is in the game.
The cloak guy, Void,
The-
Stealth, Assassin.
No,
Is-
no, no, no. The alien, the
The
tech
compiler,
alien.
the
Yeah, the
Sphit
compiler.
compiler. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
don't know how that ties
give.
in.
I feel like I kind of have to give a brief overview of Marathon, like the lore aspect at least, so that we can understand. Because so much of this trailer is like building upon the world that we're in. So without spoiling too much of it, I'm gonna give a quick, like a super fast run through. So, the 3 original Marathon games in the 90s are about humans, like we become interplanetary. There's a whole bunch of other lore of like moons fighting, governments fighting, massacres, starvation. It's like a whole huge, amazing story that Bungie made before they ever even did a game. But Marathon 1 is about we get to Mars and we've like colonized Mars. We take one of their moons called Deimos. We turn it into Marathon. We send it out to a different galaxy. It finds this planet called T.O.C. 4. The humans colonize it. A few years after they're there colonizing, the aliens called the Four show up, and the Four like the Covenant, so they're like this massive slaver race. And within the Four, there are a bunch of other races that are slaves, like Grunt Hunters in Halo. But in this game, we have the big one is the Sphit. And in Marathon 1, the humans like band together with AI, the Master Chief, a couple of the aliens. And they free some of the aliens, and then they like blow up the Four, and we win. Crisis averted. And then Marathon 2 and Marathon 3 get completely crazy. Everything turns into timelines and splits all over the place. So like I don't need to discuss those at all. But like that's Marathon 1. And that's where Marathon 1 ends, and that's the only part of all the timelines that are consistent. So it's we get to Tau 4, we colonize a little bit, aliens show up, crap on everybody. And then we like win, and the humans like live, and like that's it. That's the end of Marathon 1. So aliens beat, humans living, surviving on the colony because they beat the aliens, and like everything's all good. Marathon's intact, everybody wins. And that's
Marathon's intact. It's not exploded like
No.
the end of Halo 1. Oh, interesting.
Well-
There's just gonna be a parallel.
or like what we've seen here with Marathon. So I guess really quick, I'll pull this up. Maybe I can, because this will be super relevant, because there's an amazing picture. Yeah, so this awesome picture here. So this is new Marathon. So old Marathon from the 90s is looks like the Pillar of Autumn. It's like its own thing.
Yeah.
And it looks really good. But so they redid it here with new Marathon.
Yeah,
And this
it's
is-
not a descriptor. It's detailed.
Yes. So this is the moon, and we literally hollowed it out. We put a spaceship in the center of it. And what's super important about this picture, because this is what we've been seeing for the last year and a half, is this thing is destroyed. I mean, look at these huge pieces of the moon that are floating. Like, this thing is destroyed. So the last thing we know, canon Marathon lore, is the humans won. So the Marathon was under attack. The security officer killed all of the Four. Durandal took the alien ship, became friends with the aliens, drove away into the galaxy. Humans win. Go back to normal. Marathon intact. And since then, there has been a 300-year gap before this current game. And all we know is the ship is destroyed, all of the humans are gone. And this trailer leans like really heavily into that. So, okay, I'm going to let like the first 10 seconds run here till Joy's like done talking pretty much, and then we'll talk about that a little bit. But I'll just watch
Good
the very
morning,
beginning
New
here again.
Cascadia. This is Joy, your community outreach liaison.
Fungus spotted.
It's
Fungus
a lovely
spotted.
day outside. It's quiet. Very quiet. Rainfall is expected to begin in the early afternoon and last until a long time.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to pause it there. So, Joy is okay. So part of the first round of ARGs that we got, that we got so much information about the colony because we didn't have any from Marathon before. All we knew about the colony was that there were 23,000 humans, most of them Bobs, and then that there are 10 Mjolnir 54 cyborgs, and that's what the security officer is. He's one of those. 9 of them were on the planet, and those 9 beat the aliens on the planet. In the ARG that we got 2 years ago, so for the release of the game last year, we got so much information, but the big ones that we got were there were 9 other AI, so 12 AI total with the whole expedition of Marathon. So 3 are on Marathon, and that is Tycho, Leela, and Durandal, and all of those things happened in Marathon 1. I know you're playing it, so I'm not going to spoil it, but so those are the 3 on the Marathon. So those are the 3 that like we know the story of and kind of what happens to them. The other 9 are on the colony, and so far we only have 2 of their names. One of them is Gideon, and the other is Joy. So Gideon is like the owner of the whole colony. He's kind of like the AI that like runs everything. So he's in charge of like scheduling and moving stuff around. He's like the mayor of the colony. And then Joy, as she just said, she's like the friendly weatherman news AI who's like keeping everybody's mental in check. And what I thought was super interesting there is she is like visibly showing signs of corruption, where she says, like,
her tonage is off. That was the first thing, like when she's like, "It's a lovely day out. It's a lovely day." I was like,
right. And then at the very end here, she says, and it like the rain's going to start, and it's going to rain for, and then she like gets sad and says, "a very long time." So like this audio log that we're hearing, this is just like my theory. Like this is like current. So this is after the 300-year gap. Whatever happened with the colony has happened, and like she's still running wherever she is, and like she's just doing her daily morning routine or whatever, and like we're hearing this super sad story where like she's the only one left, and like she's clearly getting eaten by the corruption that's happening. And I think that's just the attention to detail is completely unreal. It's absolutely amazing, but
to make it 300 years, not rampant.
it's a long time. It's a long time. The rampancy is super interesting in Marathon. And then more importantly, we have this new corruption or anomaly on Marathon, or on Tau Ceti, which is crazy. But
Oh yeah, in Dire Marsh. Okay. So all that data could have kept them straight because it's data that they could expand into.
yeah. The best part is that we just don't know. You know what I mean? It's an amazing mystery that we get to. Okay, I'm gonna let a little bit more run here.
For those who did not.
Okay.
What if they just like left the compiler behind?
Or something. Yeah, we don't. Okay, so that's the other thing, I guess, about Marathon 1 that is canon.
Sitting on the ship, but the ship, like, it could have just been hiding on the ship and the security officer never got it.
No. Oh, so this is where, like, you haven't finished Marathon, and this is, like, pretty important to the story, and I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that one then.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that one, because it's, like, a pretty big thing that happens there at the end of Marathon 1, and that's, like, what's relevant to here, which is, like, a lot of the questions. So hopefully you finish that soon. Just kidding.
I'll do my best to finish it for the next one.
Okay, so this is not really lore-based. I guess it could be, but this is just like just a fun aside that a lot of us have been speculating about is like, so that's a human in this spacesuit here.
Yeah.
And those are clearly like different skins for this human in the spacesuit here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What do you think about this? Why do you think they're showing this to us? Do you think this is just like I don't know, like what do you think? What do you think about this? Just for funsies? Yeah. What do you think? Just to help build kind of on the lore of the colony, or like what do you think all this is?
I mean, it looks like surveillance because it's tagged UASC, so they all have visuals against them. They all track who is based on what, because you see Nucleoric on that one, so you can tell who's sponsored by who.
Well, yeah, all their spacesuits should be made by Nucleoric, I think, is the lore. No, I mean like okay, I'll give my theory here. I think we're gonna get a human runner that we get to play as. And I think this is that. I think we're going to get a customizable human runner, just like your Spartan in Halo Reach. And I think that this is them showing us that. I bet we don't get it for like a year and a half, but I think we're going to get a customizable human runner.
You think there's humans alive in Cryo Archive?
Yes, I think she basically confirms it. At some point in the trailer, she says, for those of you that did not wake, your dreams live on. So, yes, I think my
like, because you know how it's like we're our consciousness in a runner's body and we're just getting recycled. You don't think that that's what that's referencing? You think
no.
it's that humans are alive?
Yes. So the official how the marathon was supposed to work is it's 24,000 people. 10,000 of them always stayed in cryo. So that's like our special engineers like Bernard Strauss, military people, the cyborgs were in cryo for a long time. And then there are the Bobs. So those are the born on boards. And an entire generation, because it took 100 years for them to get to Tau 4, an entire generation like lived and died on the marathon. And there were tons of people in cryo. And then they supposedly woke most of those people up when they got to Tau 4 to colonize it. But certainly some of them were still in cryo. And in the last like little tidbit that they gave us of cryo, there are like body bags of like human shaped people in these body bags that are like frozen, that are like on hangers in cryo. And then where she's talking there about the colony, I think almost certainly there are a ton of humans that are in cryo on the marathon. That's gonna be like what my big tinfoil hat conspiracy theory is. I think that season 1 here, that's gonna last until July or June, I think, is when we're getting the first wipe. I think we're going to get like cryo like halfway through or a couple weeks in. They haven't really confirmed when that unlocks. They're going to do something similar to like Stella with Arc Raiders. That was a good event that Embark did. And I think we're going to get into the cryo chamber. I think we're going to fight the compiler. They're definitely like leading that up to be like a boss fight. And then I think like the big lore drop there is going to be like we got into cryo. The UESC is going to get into cryo, and like there are going to be humans in there, and I think we're going to wake them all up for season 2, and that's when I think we're going to get this human marathon runner that we get to customize. And I think that's what they're hinting at here. It doesn't make sense to me for them to just like show all of this, put all this work in to make these assets of the humans, and they all have these different spacesuits if it's like just for the 4 frames that they get in this trailer. But it could be. I don't know. That's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory there. Is that
okay, I'll ride that until I finish marathon. I'll ride that one to the end with you.
But anyway, so I just thought this was really interesting that they showed like this is this is like a runner. This is like what we have for our runners, and like there's a bunch of different variants. This is so interesting. This could mean so many different things. But I thought this was really cool, so I thought we'd spend some time on it. But all right.
That's awesome.
We're gonna keep chugging forward.
Your restless dreams endure.
Oh, she's saying it right here, so let me back up so we
For
can...
those who did not wake, your restless dreams endure. So small among the stars.
You talk about how they showed Marathon's launch from Mars?
Yes.
Or Earth, I guess?
No, it's Mars. Earth, it never made it to Earth. It went straight from Mars. But yeah, they did show that a little bit, which it was really cool. But yeah, so right there she said... For those that did not wake, so I definitely think that she's referencing... Well, so it could be 2 things, right? It could either be like everyone is dead in the cryopods, like something horrible happened and we killed the humans while they were sleeping in the cryo chamber, or there are a bunch of them sleeping in the cryo chamber. I don't know, it's gotta be one of the 2, is what I think. Okay, so this is what I thought was super important. Is like, so they just showed the launch here, right? Where they show the marathon kind of leaving their little trail, right? Going out, all the humans here. And then this is the marathon's boosters here. And like this moon, very intact. Very, very, very intact. Very operational. Very different than this bad boy that is destroyed. So I thought that was really cool because that was something that was huge speculation. Was like, why is the marathon just sitting there? Is it broken? Is this how it looked? So on and so forth. But now we have certain confirmation. Oh shoot, here's the original marathon ship too right here. This is what it used to look like. Just a little fun snippet there That's Deimos from Marathon 1. That's the marathon. It looks funny. Anyway, so this is super interesting because in the multiple timelines way later, and Durandal's kind of just like glossing over what happened to the humans after Marathon 1, he gives 4 different explanations. So 1 is the Thor came back and massacred them. 2 is the Thor came back and glassed the planet like Halo Reach, so they like bombed it from orbit. And then 3 is that like the colony just lived and just like nothing happened and they all lived. So and those are just like timelines, so those are possibilities of what could happen. But as far as what we know right now, well, we're not in one of those timelines. Something happens to the marathon that makes it go from this functional, put together, to completely destroyed and no longer moving. Something so huge that broke a moon, and the marathon happened to the colony here. And I think that's cool.
Maybe it's just classic humans being humans.
I guess it could be, but like, what could they have done that blew a moon up? That's crazy. Anyway, I thought that was a super fun thing to touch on because we don't really have anything about the 4 or anything that happened there. So that's just like more to add to the mystery of like, whatever this huge mystery is that happened to the colonists, like it was big enough that it blew up a moon. I mean, it was huge. Absolutely huge. But anyway.
Breathe softly. Do not worry. Peace is upon you. And I am here to walk with you into its embrace.
Mayday! Mayday!
Okay, so one of the a few weeks
I swear
ago.
to God, there's a frame you can see Fjord in there.
I can see what? 4?
I swear to God, yeah. 4.
The aliens? No way. Right here?
Mayday!
I'm not seeing it. Do you think it was further back or what?
Right there in the woods.
In the woods?
Do
Okay.
not worry.
I'll try and pause it again.
Peace is upon you.
No, you had it.
Oh, shoot.
And I am here
I'm a
to
bot.
walk with you
With the
into
blue
its
cat.
embrace.
Yeah, I know what we're doing.
Mayday!
Okay, so you think there's 4 here somewhere?
Yeah, like right in there. There's crazy imagery. Because everything human and UASC and AI related is all blocky, and that looked really fluid, which is either, I mean, it could be twisted as Arachne or rampant AI, but
Interesting.
I'm convinced the 4 are gone. They're not gone.
I don't think they're gone either. I think they're going to be here. I don't think they're going to be in it at launch. I think like that was too much for them to have in there, but
I think it comes after the first year. I think we deal with the rampant AI as the main storyline for the first year. We figure out how to stabilize it or destroy it, and then the 4 show back up.
that would be amazing. Yeah, I hope so. So the other like big thing that they've kind of hinted at that's like sort of the enemy but isn't is this anomaly, and like we don't know what it is. We don't know what caused it. And like supposedly that's what's making some of the AI rampant. There's like a line in one of the ARGs where Gideon is scared of the anomaly because it like corrupted one of the AIs or killed it or something. So one other thing that I was going to say here is
An off-schedule perimeter check authorized by on-duty supervisor. This is Holt, responding to unusual readings in the northeast sector of the anomaly investigation site. Probably just a temperature flux again. Huh? Hello? Hey, this is a restricted area. Who are you? Funny. Turn around. I said turn around. Found someone. I can't see them very well. Too much fog. Hey, you need to come with me. Step out where I can see you. Now! Back up! Back up!
I'll find it later.
I wouldn't worry about it, yeah.
So he is like walking at night in Dire Marsh, and he sees a humanoid creature, and he calls out to it like it's human. He says like, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing?" And it mimics his voice back to him. Like, it's super creepy, and it mimics it back to him of like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And it's the same as at the end of this trailer here. I'll just fast forward it really quick, where he says "Mayday, Mayday," and then it changes. Here.
Mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
That little tidbit there, where it's saying "Mayday, Mayday, Mayday," that's the exact same voice as what it did in the shorts. So, like, I don't think that's him saying that "Mayday." Like, that is whatever this anomaly is. It feels like zombies, is what it feels like. It feels like it's zombies. But that's like the same voice as him, and she's doing it right here too. I think she goes full corrupt here because she starts being like religious and says like, "I will walk with you into its embrace, peace be upon you." Like, it switches from like AI technical to like psycho cult. Listen to what she says here. It's completely insane.
A long time.
That's the switch right there, where she says it's going to rain for a long time, and then it completely changes here.
Your restless dreams endure. So small among the stars. Breathe softly. Do not worry. Peace is upon you. And I am here to walk with
The
you
music
into its
reinforces it like
embrace.
crazy.
Mayday, mayday.
Oh, shoot. He actually repeats the Mayday, Mayday right there. So that's probably the real voice line. And then the end
Dave
is...
Damos. What is that frame you just got?
Yeah, Maida. Amazing. That moon is broken, too, right there. I'm just realizing that's
Yeah,
crazy.
smashed to pieces. And there's an analysis of the ship itself on the left. That frame that you got is nuts.
My goodness. Okay, so what I wanted to say there was, like, I think that this anomaly, like, I think it's corrupting everyone, and it could just be making zombies. We don't even know. But, like, I think it's clearly gotten Joy. I think she's, like, half functioning. It's like Cortana in Halo 3, you know? Like, she's, like, half there, half not. And I thought that was super interesting, because what that tells us is that, like, this anomaly not only killed or the colonists are gone, right? No sign of them. So like, it did something to the colonists, but like, it also was able to wipe out the AI in some way, shape, or form. And like, Joy's like the last one, and like, she's gone. She's corrupted, and you can hear it in her voice and her voice lines. I thought that was super interesting that they put in the "peace be upon you," and then "I will walk with you into the soft embrace." I thought that was super, super creepy. And it's just really fun. It's a cosmic horror story of like, what could have possibly wiped out the most advanced humans have ever been and our AI. So not only is it a biological threat, but like, it's a technical threat as well, which is crazy to think about. But anyway, okay, we're gonna let it rip some more.
Our own worst enemies are ourselves.
Yeah.
This is General T.W.K of the new Cascadia colony on T.O.C. 4. Whoever's listening, whatever's out there, we need anything.
So he says whatever is out there. And I think that is also really telling, because like, you wouldn't say whatever is out there if the humans just went bad and started eating each other. You wouldn't say whatever is out there if it was like the wildlife on the planet that you've been studying. You wouldn't say whatever is out there if it was a natural disaster like a hurricane. He says whatever is out there, meaning like, he doesn't know what it is. That's terrifying.
Well, do you think that could also, let's turn this a different way. What if he is so scared of whatever the anomaly is doing, or whatever it is, that he would rather put a broadcast out that the 4 could potentially get?
Oh, like,
and
he's
would rather
begging
have them come back.
He's begging anyone to come back and help. Holy. Yeah, because I guess that could be the case here, where the 4 have already been beaten, and he's like, yeah, dang, I did not think about that. That makes it even scarier, that like, the aliens that just attacked you, you'd rather have
because
than...
then Durandal would pick up that transmission
Holy.
for sure.
I want it to be zombies so bad. We have the 2 human bodies on perimeter that are like covered in the mushrooms that are like dead on the ground. Dude, I want it to be zombies so bad. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. But I want it to be zombie. I wanna load up Marathon on launch day. So after the open, I hope that the open weekend here is like regular and it's just robots. And I want to load up Marathon for the first time on March 5th, and I want it to be covered in colonist zombies. And I think that would be the greatest thing on planet Earth. But it won't be. It won't be.
God. No, it won't be. That's crazy that you're going that route.
No, that's just a
wasn't
pipe
gonna-
dream. Just a pipe
I wasn't pegging you for the Star Wars or not Star. Oh, the sci-fi zombie horror. Did you like Dead Space?
Never played. Thought it was stupid. Thought it looked dumb. Never played.
Dead Space was really good. I had a good time playing that game.
This guy's
I
old.
thought 1 and 2 were good, and 3 was not that great. But
I thought it always just looked silly, so I never had any interest. But okay, we're gonna let it rip more.
Weapons, supplies, a way out, a way back.
A way out, a way out, a way back. So that means whatever happened to the Marathon, where it's destroyed here, happened, and like the humans were still existing, moving around. I think that's also like super important to the story.
you could probably, I mean, if there's multiple timelines with Marathon 1 through 3, I bet the anomaly messes with timelines too.
That would be amazing. That would be the best
Mm.
story we could get, I think. The most mind-bending story we could get would be if the anomaly did that. Yeah, that would be great. I hope so.
This is T.W.K. T.O.C. I feel like I'm playing. We've had to do things to
Okay, I actually wanted to hear what he said there. Because I couldn't tell if he said, I feel like I'm playing, or I feel like I'm plagued.
We've had to do things to survive. Things I never would have.
Oh, I didn't back it up far enough. I'm a bot.
I feel like I'm playing.
It's in closed caption.
Oh, he says praying. Interesting. Interesting.
We've had to do things to survive. Things I never would have.
I don't know. What do you think that means when he says, we've had to do things to survive, things I never would have thought we had to do? What do you think that means? Did they eat each other? What does that mean?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
And then it shows the Arachne cult. Everything, which is perfect. We love
I mean,
that.
you could swing it with the Arachne cult stuff. You're sacrificing humans for some greater thing.
What if they were feeding the humans to the anomaly? Holy. They're sacrificing the humans. Human sacrifice so that it doesn't eat the rest of us. That's terrifying. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it's awesome. It's so dark and it's so mysterious. I'm here for
I
it.
think that I think a lot of people are ripping on Marathon for having like the really bright colors and being like, how is this even creepy? But the more that we get, the more I'm like, the bright colors like contrast the entire.
It makes it
like,
more creepy.
language. I mean, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It makes it so much more creepy because it's such a dark, like terrifying story, and
Yeah.
amazing.
Monsters.
It's like anything whimsical. Oh man, like, dude, I'm not afraid of clowns, but like really happy sounds and noises from like arcades and stuff. If that played in that game, oh my god.
He says, we're monsters. We love that. Oh.
Monsters.
Some gameplay, some B-roll. She says embrace there. Okay, I wanted to show this.
I don't remember being able to slide through vents like that.
Yeah, you could slide through some of them. Most of them were like too long. So you could like slide into it, but you couldn't like get all the way through it. I have an
Break the grate by sliding.
I have an awesome clip of me crawling through the vent while I'm dead, and then you revive me when I get out on the other end. Okay, so another funny little marathon lore tidbit from the original games here is so like Mida has existed forever.
Mhm.
Mida took over Mars from the UESC government there after the Mizraya massacre. It's like a whole thing. They're like a terrorist organization. But one of the fun things is nobody knows what Mida actually stands for. There are a bunch of like
Oh.
theories about it, and there are like tons of acronyms about it. I don't think that they're confirming that this is what MIDA means. I think they're just throwing another acronym out there. It's almost like it's become bigger than the organization. It's like a joke at this point of like how many acronyms you can make for MIDA. And I thought this one was super cool, so I wanted to point it out where it says Mayhem inspires direct action. I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, so that's a little MIDA reference, which is also kind of hinting that like they. So I guess that's another thing in the marathon games is like the Mjolnir cyborgs weren't supposed to be on the marathon. They're like a banned wartime like weapon that nobody's allowed to have, and Mida put them on the marathon, and like that's all we know, and it worked out kind of like in Halo, right, where Halsey was making the Spartans all secretive, and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
worked out because we got invaded by the aliens, and it was like, oh look, heroes, but it's like, what were you making those super soldiers for, you psychopath?
Yeah.
So that is also the story of Marathon, is that there are 10 of those on the marathon. It's like, why on Earth, in the galaxy, why in Seoul would those cyborgs be on the marathon? And it just kind of like luckily worked out by that. So Minos like got a hand, and it almost looks like they're trying to like make the marathon go sideways for like political gain to show that the UESC is weak. So it almost looks like they were like trying to sabotage it in marathon, and I think that's super interesting that like we're getting more of it here. Definitely leading into. I guess the other trailer, right? The pre-order trailer, Gantry is the MIDA representative, and he's talking, and he says that T.O.C 4 is dying, and like, what does that even mean? How does a planet die? All right.
Embrace. What's this? Embrace. Embrace. What's this? Embrace.
Mayday!
Oh yeah, Maya pops up right after that.
Mayday!
Oh, there's Traxxas.
Good old Traxxas. What were you gonna say?
Sekiguchi?
Sekaguchi Weaver, the worm gang. So we hear her go like full rampant there, pretty much, or corrupted, or whatever it is, because she
Yeah.
just starts saying embrace, 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 and then it ends with a repeated line from the guy, and it's the same as what we saw in the short.
Mayday! Mayday!
We're saying Mayday
Mayday!
1,000 different times. It's a horror game. It is officially a horror game. No questions asked. It's officially a horror game. So,
It is.
my goodness.
It'll be fun. The codex is going to be my favorite part, just like going through it after we play all the maps initially and we pick up everything.
Yeah, I think that's going to be so much fun. I'm going to definitely, it's going to be like playing Tarkov all over again, where I'm going to be all in, moving around, reading all of the little lore bits. I'm so excited for all that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What I guess maybe now that we've kind of broken it down a little bit, anything other big things that stuck out? Maybe that I skipped over? Anything? Nothing too big yet.
No,
Okay.
I just want to figure out the rampant part and then the compiler. I mean, it's just like a weird, because the compilers came with the 4, right? But
Yeah.
they're there still.
The compilers are an enslaved race. The 4 enslaved them, and then they're like minions on the 4 ship that shows up in Marathon.
Yeah, but
And
didn't
then-
Durandal release them? I'm far enough in the game that I remember that being a thing.
Did you do a crazy boss fight on the 4 ship in Marathon yet?
Yeah, where the queen. I killed the queen.
Okay, so the compilers are enslaved from the hive mind, and yeah, it's called the Queen, and you kill it in Marathon 1.
Yeah, I just got
And
done
then,
killing it. That's where I basically left off.
okay, so because you kill it, all of the Sphid are like free to make their own choices, and they make an alliance with Durandal, and you're friends with them for the rest of Marathon 1. They're fighting with you, killing the floor with you, and they're good guys. They are friends, they're good guys. They don't kill humans anymore. So yeah.
As though that's implied by the menacing red gaze as it moves towards you on the screen.
Yes. Well, I don't know if it's implied that it kills humans. It could just be implied. I almost think that the UESC. What I guess like my real theory, so not zombies. My real theory about what's going on is I think that the UESC showed up 300 years later. I think there was one compiler left on the marathon for whatever reason. Maybe like we left one because we were friends with him and he was like helping to do repairs or whatever, like coexisting. I think the UESC showed up, found him, and they were talking to him and they like figured out what happened. And it's like this crazy horror story where the anomaly on Tau-Ceti 4 like killed everyone or whatever. And I think he's just like with the UESC, like he's just friends with the UESC and like the runners, so us, like we're bad guys to the UESC, right? We're mercenaries. We're just bad guys.
Yeah.
So I think he's just killing runners because like he's working with the UESC, right? The humans said those are the enemies, so those are the enemies. That's what I think it is. I don't think that he's like a bad guy. I think he's just like he's working with the government that he was friends with from the initial attack in Marathon 1 or whatever. I think that's what my theory is on that specifically, on why he's there. But yeah, I don't know. I guess nobody knows. Let's see here. Anything else? Anything else from that
No.
trailer? Any other big no standouts?
No.
I gotta pull the Google Doc up because I closed it because I'm silly. Okay. Oh, give us your thoughts. So we got that trailer at the end of State of Play. We had to watch all of State of Play. State of Play was awful. We got that trailer. It was good. Then at the end of the trailer, we got the server slam, where they gave us the weekend, 26th through the 2nd. Give us your thoughts on that. You predicted it would be a week earlier.
I did, yeah.
So what do you think about that? You think that's good timing, that it's just gonna kind of lead into the game rather than be something that they can gather information from? What do you think?
I don't think that they're showing information. I think they're trying to stress test the servers, see the hype level, and then get after it. And I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a fun time. I got enough stuff to worry about with work that I'm like, God, I want to hit level 30 so bad.
Yeah.
Because what level did we hit? I don't even know if we hit that high.
I made it to 64 was my max, and I think I have a screenshot of you at 29, and that's definitely, that 29 was like probably like the beginning of the last day that we played, so you probably just barely scraped over the 30.
Yeah, and if we're looking at my hours, let me look at my hours in here.
I played about 60 on that one.
It was 55 hours, but I played like 30 of it with you, so we're looking at like 40 hours of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's
like
it's
8 hours a day to get that.
4 days to get to level 30 is insane. So few people are going to get that.
I wish I had the time to do that.
Are you not going to be able to take all that time off? You got to work or what?
For the server slam?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Ugh, that sucks.
Especially since I'm clearing out my schedule. I'm literally opening Thursday.
So that can kind of lead us actually into the next thing here, which is the rewards. If we'll discuss this before the other stuff. So the rewards that we have seen, because there are a ton of rewards for playing on the free weekend. So I'll read their whole post here. So, the Server Slam will unlock exclusive rewards that carry over to launch on March 5th. So completing the intro mission, which is like the tutorial, will unlock a unique emblem and player background that you will get to have for all of Marathon. And then all of these other things, it's basically gear. There's a few other things that you'll get. But so the first one is complete the first set of tasks. You unlock a standard arrival cache, standard implants, 6 of them, standard runner shell cores for weapon chip mods 6, and then an overrun and a hardline. So basically, if you do that first set of tasks, then when Marathon launches, you'll have extra cores, extra weapon mods. So that's the first one. The next one is reach runner level 10. You'll get enhanced arrival cache, which is green implants,
Yeah, I
so
was
not
gonna say
just
it's
white
gonna be all
ones.
green.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then blue.
Enhanced runner shell cores, there's 12 of them, more weapon chip mods, and then you get a green magnum and a green hardline. So that's the second one. And then the last one is this third tier, and it says reach runner level 30, and it unlocks the deluxe arrival cache. So it is special shells, looks like it's purple ones, 12 of them, weapon mods, 4 purple ones, and then you get a couple purple guns, and then you start with a special backpack. And you get all of that on March 5th. So if you get to level 30, you're going to have like 4 times the amount of gear that everybody else has. But as far as like stuff that's going to stay throughout wipes, that emblem and the player banner, just anybody gets if you play like at all. So you'll still get like the special stuff from doing that, but any of the extra gear you'll have to grind for. What do you think about those rewards? What do you think about extra stuff to start with? You like that, or is that a no-no?
I mean, it's better than the pay to win from Tarkov. Like, if you put the time in, you get the rewards. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
I think I'm in the
If anything,
same
it just
boat.
it makes me want to play more and just see how high I can go.
I want to
I'm
play
wondering if the
Marathon
XP
2.
scaling is different.
Yeah, I will be super curious to see how similar the beta or the playtest is to the real game. I'm super curious to see if
Yeah.
they're gonna change a bunch of things or.
I think that based on this, I mean, we're at level 30 is going to be hard. I think that they made the XP easier. I think that the factions are going to be harder to
I
get.
I hope so.
leveled.
I hope it's super super difficult.
It's like really grindy too, and like stepwise. I think the progression system in Arc is pretty good. Like where you have like all your little passives. I think that kind of drip feeds you enough to keep you engaged. I
The
think
skill
that,
tree, is that what you're referring to here?
yeah.
Okay.
I think the skill tree, like the rate at which you got level ups was fine. If it was something along those lines, I think I would be okay with it.
I think I hate everything about Arc Raiders, but we won't
think
even get
that-
in there.
I think I think you can pull parallels and like what works and what doesn't. I think that's fine as a system.
Yeah, I think for sure
How they created that system is neither here nor there.
Yeah, I think for sure there are some important things that we can learn from Arc Raiders for sure, and I think that the amount of casual that it is certainly one of those. But I was telling everyone that they should all be super disappointed in me because I can't find the YouTube short of the guy talking and getting corrupted, so I'll have to find it and add it in later when I'm editing this because I can't find it. It's like literally not there on their YouTube. I don't know where it went or what happened to it. But anyway, okay, so we did the Peanut and Gingy stream with Ziegler. He was only supposed to play 3 raids, but he got absolutely crapped on 2 of them, and he just, after every single game, he was like, one more, and they were just indulging, which I thought was super cute. So the first like 2 raids were like really bad. They like didn't do anything. They like died really fast. It was
I remember seeing all that.
it was really sad. The other thing too was like I think Bungie actually kind of fumbled this a little bit. Like they didn't explain to him like what to do. They didn't give him good guns. They didn't give him like a good kit to like showcase the game. It was like a poor showing of the game that I was a little bit disappointed with. But
Or at least give him time to like figure it out. You know, like give him a few hours offline to
well, it
play.
kind of sounds like they gave him a day before where he was playing with the Bungie devs, because he was talking about playing the day earlier when he was using like the Copperhead and stuff. I think he had like a little bit of time, but the biggest fumble there, I think, was that they tried to like showcase the whole game. So like the first raid, like Ziegler has a purple shield, Genji has a blue one, Peanut has a white one. And then like we watched probably like an hour of that whole stream is him sitting there pushing the free sponsor button that we had at the end of all the playtests.
Yeah.
And like that was bad. They probably should have like copy and pasted a kit into his inventory, or they should have just said everybody's playing with sponsored kits and everybody clicks the one free sponsor kit and then like that's what they play with. So that was a little bit of like a cluster that didn't need to happen. I think they definitely dropped the ball a little bit there, but I just don't think that they like thought through like the best of trying to show that. But anyway, so before we get into like his chat and stuff, the other thing that I wanted to point out that I thought was super funny was like, so on Outpost, the big structure in the middle that's called Pinwheel. There's like multiple ways in, right? And they tried to go in one of them, and Burnt Peanut and Gingy couldn't figure it out. And so the Bungie devs just started like suiciding in as rooks to try to show him how to get in, and he just kept killing them. Like he didn't understand that they were trying to help him do the puzzle. And that was like really sad that we didn't that they couldn't show that off. But I thought that was really interesting. The Bungie devs go ahead.
Especially since they were showcasing like the prox chat.
Yeah.
Because like Ziegler was making a big deal about not talking in Discord.
Yeah, he was trying to, and then Burnt Peanut told him to stop. Yeah, that was kind of sad. I just thought the Bungie devs were really good sports about it. Like, they weren't, like, purposely crapping on him, and they also purposely weren't, like, trying to just... I think some of them were feeding him a few kills, but, like, they weren't just, like, letting him get away with it for free, you know? Some of them would just kill him. But, so I thought the Bungie devs were pretty good sports about that.
Yeah.
And then
also, like, they clearly watch him because they like the knife fights and stuff like that. It's like, okay, you guys watched him like while he was playing Tarkov and
Goop
stuff.
Jr. came in. He named himself Goop Jr. Yeah, they all. Ziegler was super wholesome and just like giggling at everything that Burnt Peanut says.
I know, he loved it, dude.
I definitely think, yeah, I agree. I think they all watch him. I think they all love him, and I think it was definitely a smart move from Bungie to pick Peanut and put him in there because I mean, at this point, he's the one who says if games live or die. So. It's a horrible world that we live in. It's a bad system, but they definitely chose the right way to do it. Definitely the best outcome for them. I think that's all. I guess the Peanut chats were super funny. Everyone was like saying that the game looked terrible, and then Peanut said, "I think this game looks good," and then the entire chat completely changed, and they were all like, "Marathon looks great." Like they're just so mindless. They just do whatever he says.
Yeah.
And because the meta, everyone because the meta is like Arc Raiders versus Marathon, everyone that loves Arc Raiders just like thinks that they have to hate Marathon. And because Peanut isn't a bot, and he like actually has opinions, and he's like, Marathon is good, everyone is like, wait a second, is Marathon good? Are we supposed to like Marathon? I need orders. I even have I have some friends that are somewhat large streamers that I played with a while ago, and one of them came and he raided me the other day, and over the whole course of Arc Raiders, like I'd get in there and I'd talk to him. Like when we were doing the NDA test and stuff, I would get in there and I'm like, hey, like I'll buy you Marathon. Like you got to give it a try. You got to tell me what you think about this. And like the whole time he's just like, Marathon? Like didn't that game flop? Art Raiders? Is that the game that you're talking about? And he was like so toxic about it, and he didn't even like give it a chance. Didn't even want to let it breathe in any way, shape, or form. And then, like, a few days ago, he came and he rated my stream, and he was like, hey, I saw Burnt Peanut talk about Marathon. It looks pretty good. I'm excited for it. And I was like, why does that guy's opinion change yours? Like, that's horrible. What is wrong with you, dude? You're such a clown. Anyway.
If I hadn't gotten hands-on, I would not have changed my mind, and I would not be playing it.
Really?
But because I just, like... did not like the alpha that we got, like watching it, playing it a little bit. I didn't get into the alpha. I was salty about that after spending how much time with Destiny 2. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So I was like really jaded about the whole thing. And then I got in the tech test and I was just able to play. And then I was like,
And it was awesome.
yeah, I can't stop. But that's like, I got to make my own opinion
Yeah.
about the whole thing. And I just will not waver from that opinion. Everyone can say what they want. I'm gonna play so much of that game.
Good. That's good. I'm glad that you got to play so that you could love it. I think that's like a huge problem that we have is people don't ever want to play anything. It's like literally the reason the High Guard died is nobody wanted to play. They all just wanted to say it was bad because we watched a few streamers say that it was bad. And then like literally yesterday, Ninja and Tim the Tatman were in there and they were playing. And like their chats were just like loving the game. It got a huge spike in player base for like 2 days because like people actually played it for the first time and it was good instead of just like the Arc Raiders fanboys. This huge group of people that have moved in and decided that they are Arc Raiders. And it is a mix of like Call of Duty kids, Fortniters, there's a huge chunk of Riot gamers, and they're the most brain-dead morons that I have ever met in my whole life, and they're so toxic, and they hate everything that isn't Arc Raiders, and they think everything that Embark does is good. And like it's so bad for video games because they're just not, they don't critically think about anything, and they're also not people who are like gonna be there for the long haul. I mean, we're watching it in real time, right? We're watching Arc Raiders just plummet in player base. And we are like 5 months in, and the Embark devs haven't fixed cheating. They haven't had any meaningful updates, and like they're starting to get pissed. And like they don't have a loyal player base because no one was loyal to Arc Raiders in the first place because it was all just fleeting hype from streamers. And I think that's really sad because I don't think that's what Arc Raiders deserves. But
Say it like it is.
I have a lot to say about Arc Raiders.
I just always think that there's a flavor of the day. Like Fortnite had its day under the sun. Arc Raiders had its day under the sun. There will be another game. I don't think Marathon will have like that big of an impact, but I think that Marathon will be a very successful live service game.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it has the potential to be as big as all of the other ones too. I don't think it will, but I think it, like if it does, I'm not going to be shocked, I think is what I'm trying to say.
I think that if they have a solid launch and everything goes okay for like the first year, whatever their next expansion will be, kind of like Taken King was really big, I think it'll be like that and everyone will be like, everyone has to play this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it certainly has the potential. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But I think we're going to be like around 200,000-300,000 on day one. I think it's going to be huge. And then I think we're going to drop. We'll be under 100K, above 50, under 100K for a few months. I don't think it's going to be anything massive, but I think it's certainly going to be a very successful live service game, exactly like you said. Okay, I think that's all I have for state of play stuff. Now I have all of the other little tidbits. This is just like fun stuff that we've had kind of leaked that's like kind of meaningless but kind of not. So I guess we'll start with the stuff where Bungie's taking shots at Arc Raiders. So since like early January, Bungie has like actually been poking the bear and like fanning the flames of the Arc Raiders versus Marathon thing, and they did it first with they released that huge cast of the voice actors, right? They're like purposely taking shots and saying that like we have real people voice acting in our game. So just more of that has come out, which I just love. So the first thing that we got is Joe Ziegler came out and he said that like the game is going to be PvP focused. There's never going to be a PvE mode. They want the encounters with other players to be part of the game. That's what it's designed around. That's what makes it good. And like there isn't going to be any of this garbage aggression matchmaking based system. That's like one of the worst ideas we've ever seen. And
that's a player base too much.
Yeah, well, it's one. I feel like it's one of those pipe dreams. It's kind of like what Call of Duty did with Black Ops. Holy, is it 7, 6? I don't know. Whichever one has skill-based damage. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
No.
They added skill-based damage to the matchmaking. So, like, if you were a higher rank and you got put in with people that were lower ranks, your gun would do less damage to them so that it would take more shots to kill. And it's like one of those pipe dreams where like I think the devs think about it and it's like that's a way that we could balance it and make it fair. And then in execution, it's just horrendous. And the Embark has completely slipped into that with this aggression-based matchmaking. It's like really easy to cheese.
I think it would have been better if they didn't tell everyone that it was aggression-based matchmaking. If they just kept it to themselves and go, I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably, yeah. Almost certainly it would have gone better. But anyway, so that's one of the big things that Marathon was. They were taking shots at Embark. Just a couple freebies off the top that nobody really disagrees with. I'm going to read his specific quotes here that he said. He said, we don't have special matchmaking rules to separate non-combatant-oriented players, but we will provide tools like proximity chat to those players who can meet and communicate in-game. In Marathon, the tension and suspicion of not being sure whether other players are hostile is the core of the survival experience. It's that uncertainty that drives how unpredictable each run can be, and that's what we're trying to show in Marathon. Just a couple of shots there across the bow, and then another one that they took later in the week was he came out and he said that there won't be a safe pocket ever. Not going to be one at launch. They're not going to work on one. There's never going to be any of that crap. Marathon's like not this game that is going to hold your hand. They want it to be kind of brutal. And so that's another fun thing because Embark is currently trying to increase the safe pocket size, which is completely so stupid to me because like we watch Tarkov that invented extraction shooters come out and we've had the Gamma case for so long and slowly over time they've just cut back everything we can put in the safe container because it's a bad idea at the end of the day, right? So I remember when you could put night vision in your safe container, your Reaper, stacks of ammo, your magazines, you could put everything. You put full guns. You could bring in the Epsilon container and I could put the grenade launcher in there so I would never lose it when I died. And slowly, all of that has been removed, and you get, like, keys, some money, and, like, that's it. You can't put, like, meds in your safe container in Tarkov anymore. So I think it's really crazy that we're having these studios try to go backwards in time with something that we know doesn't work. And I think that's always something that I am super worried about, especially given, like, my background streaming with, like, Level 0 and stuff, where we watch these developers make these horrible choices that kill their game that we've already watched fail. And especially with how our world is, where, I mean, like I was saying, like one streamer kind of drives everything, and we have these crazy, huge, toxic player bases that can just hate on something and kill it. I was really worried that Bungie would kind of crush under the pressure and add a safe pocket, add aggression-based matchmaking, all this crap that our graders did just because they're trying to like copy success. But they've gone the opposite direction. They've doubled down on what they think is going to be best. They have pushed away all of those garbage ideas that we know don't work, and that's like a huge W for me. So I was really happy to see that they came out and they swatted down specifically those two. No aggression-based matchmaking and then no safe pocket. I thought that was a big win.
I think that having a good leader helps with that too. Because didn't Ziegler work on Valorant?
Yeah, so Ziegler worked on a bunch of Riot, and then he was the big guy for Valorant for a while.
Off the top, you say Riot. Like, when have they ever taken anything that the player base or streamers have said? They've done exactly what they want to do with the game, right? So, like, they go into a boardroom, they visualize what they want to do. They say, is this going to be fun? Can we execute this? And then they iterate on that. That's like game development in a nutshell. And I think that they don't really care what other people are doing. They're like, we're going to make these choices because we think it's fun to do.
Yeah, I think that's certainly true as far as like the gameplay aspect goes. It's a completely different story with like skins and stuff. But yeah, as far as how the game works, for sure, I would definitely give Riot the stamp of like they don't ever listen to anyone. And that has actually hurt them a little bit, especially recently with adding Vanguard to League of Legends. It's killed that player base a good chunk. So it definitely can be a damaging thing. But yeah, for sure, he's from that world of like, we're going to kind of give the middle finger to our consumers because we know that most of them don't know what they're talking about. And I think that that can certainly be a good thing. And it can certainly be a
But then
bad
there's
thing.
like concessions, right? Like they're putting in prox chat, they're like figuring stuff out. So they are like following through with like we are hearing the like really loud stuff. We will adjust that.
The biggest thing I think you can point to there is that the world, like the walls are dirty now, like there's grime on everything, and that's definitely was a big complaint that I think they've like really taken to heart and tried to
It's not
execute on.
sterile anymore.
Yeah.
It's like lived in a little bit.
Okay, and then their last shot, it was a triple burst that they took at Embark. So this is the last shot. This one was not across the bow. This one just hit the ship, and there are holes, and they're taking on water. So this is also from Ziegler, and it is about cheating, because that's the big one that we're watching, like big streamers like Ninja, Shroud. I mean, everybody's like taking huge breaks from our creators for weeks at a time because the cheating is like so bad. So this is a fun little bit that Joe Ziegler said. So he said, "We're always committed to keeping Marathon secure and maintaining a high integrity, competitive environment. Games with this kind of gameplay are especially vulnerable to exploits and cheating, and as players ourselves, we genuinely understand the frustration of having a match ruined by bad actors. That's why we've done a lot of preventative work, but more importantly, we're prepared to respond to any cheating situations that come up. As everyone knows, cheating in online games is a constantly evolving problem, and it requires ongoing, continuous countermeasures." What do you think about that statement? And I know you've got some history with Bungie and cheating where they weren't too good. Some Destiny shots. What do you think? What do we think about that?
I'll believe it when I see it.
That's probably a good stance to have. I
I
liked
think the first 3 months are going to be great because they haven't figured it out yet. I am curious how they respond.
Riot Games especially has less cheaters than anything that we've ever seen. And a big reason for it is because of Vanguard, the kernel level anti-cheat. It's probably the best one that we have, but it's also so invasive that, like, I played thousands of hours of League of Legends, and the second that they added that in 2023, I've never touched the game, and I never will again.
I don't care about that personally.
Dude, it bothers me. It bothers me because they're just like mining Bitcoin with your computer, right? Games just doing other horrible things besides the anti-cheat. If it's just kernel level and that's all it is, I think I'm okay with that too. That's how Highguard was, and I was more than okay with that. But the way that Riot does it, especially, I think is bad. But the two big things that I wanted to point out here is, like, number one, he's not trying to shy away from the cheating, which is what Embark is doing. They're trying to say that it's like not really their fault. It's only happening to streamers, so they don't really need to address it. So I really appreciated that we had some devs try to not wiggle away from the cheating problem. And the other big one that he said was, it's just the last sentence. He says, it is an online, constant, evolving problem, and it requires ongoing, continuous countermeasures. So he basically says that they're committed to fighting it as it comes up, rather than Tarkov does it retroactively, right? They're able to do it in waves, but it's not constant and keeping up with it. And then everything else that we see is either too late or most of the time way too little, and it's not enough to catch them. So
that's how Destiny, you saying that's how Destiny felt. So again, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, they definitely don't have a good track record with cheating in Destiny 2. It's one of the more that I learn about it, the more it just looks so bad. It looks so bad.
That's and it's gotten to the point now where it's everyone sees that has played Destiny for years and just rolls their eyes and goes, "Okay, Grandpa, just unlock the game so we can play it."
Yeah. Yikes. Okay, I found the other statement on the no PvE mode that I also wanted to read. This is an issue that's close to my heart because I've watched a lot of really good extraction shooters that I liked just full die because they wanted to add a PvE mode when the game is fundamentally PvP, and trying to change that is really stupid. So here's his statement on that. He says, "We're definitely not making a game that has only a PvE mode. From a PvE perspective, we built a lot of compelling elements like high difficulty enemies and environmental threats, but the core of Marathon is creating tension. In other words, in many situations, PvP is unavoidable. At the same time, we also provide nonviolent interaction tools for players who prefer peaceful approaches." So that's just more doubling down on no PvE. No PvE mode, because that's stupid.
Yeah, but it sounds like you can use, like, obviously there's stealth, so you can like use those characters in ways where you can like get out of fights and disengage and get away and
Certainly.
extract,
We have
which is fine.
we have
Because then it
two
gives
of
counterplay to chase.
yeah, we have two of the best rat loadouts I've ever seen in video games. Void has this crazy smoke bomb. He can go invisible like 4 different times. That's like incredibly difficult to chase. And then Glitch, who I think is the most useless runner I've ever seen, and the only thing that she ever does is she can run away faster than me. She can't get into combat faster, she's not better at combat, but she can run away faster than any runner I've ever seen. And the only time anybody ever got away from me was when they were glitched. They popped their ultimate, they sprinted away as hard as they could. So, like, Marathon absolutely has the ability for you to play like a coward if you want and just run and hide. You know what I mean? That is an option on the table. So the Arc Raider kids will be right at home with that one. I think that's all I have for them fighting Arc Raiders a little bit and Embark. Some other little tidbits that we got were you'll be able to opt out of crossplay on PC and on console. Most of the time they only let console opt out of crossplay with PC. But it's going to go both ways. That's like a huge thing that these super whiny streamers that are washed are always crying about is aim assist. So that's a little thing for them. They can opt out of crying because they lost to a kid with a controller. What else do we have here? I think that's it for all of our marathon news. Did I miss anything else?
Full stat report at the end of the season.
Right. There's actually all of the season breakdown I didn't get into at all. So I guess we can jump into this.
I'm running short on time. Do you want to hold off and do that for the next one?
We could. How much time you got? Not much?
No, I have to leave here in a minute.
In 1 minute? All right, that's fine. Yeah, we can push all of it to the next one. That'll work.
Maybe we do an extra one.
A secret podcast? 2 episodes this week?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
2 hours.
We've only
done an hour.
We've only been yapping for 1 hour, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. I would love to cover. I mean, I want to cover all this stuff too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, maybe
we should do an extra one.
Wow. Okay, it was him, not me. It was his idea. Okay, it was his idea, not me.
Season 1, I want to go through.
Yeah, no, me too. I wanted everybody to know that I wasn't forcing you. Is all it was. It was your idea. Not coerced. Yeah, that'll work. That's fine. So we can be done here with this one. That's good. We got all the big marathon news stuff. Everything else is tiny stuff like the season breakdown and whatnot. So we can cover that later. So, all right, good. I'm happy with that one. And I guess we'll see you guys for the secret episode this week. Holy, I'm excited. All right.
GG's.
GG's.